what do you do as a winemaker to prevent mouse?
So sulfur is the biggest preventative for mouse. Most wines that are sulfured will not have mouse issues, especially if they're sulfured at bottling. I like to make a couple of wines every year that are sulfur-free. I think it's a fun challenge. I also think that wines that are unsulfured wines, like totally untouched wines essentially, that are just grapes and nothing else in your bottle, no additions, no subtractions whatsoever, I think those wines can be stunning. I think they can be really expressive, really beautiful, really just like the most alive version of the wine that it can be, because when you add sulfur, you're tamping down any bad bacteria and preventing off flavors like mouse, but you're also tamping down good bacteria and you're killing a little bit of like the good flora in the wine as well. So I think unsulfured wines can be exceptionally beautiful and expressive because they're totally untampered with. That being said, they have to be also very, very, very stable, because if your wine is not stable and you don't sulfur it, you run the risk of compounds like the mouse compounds forming. So what I do is before bottling, I've got all my wines racked up to tank, meaning I've blended, all the barrels from various wines together into their final forms. I then pull a glass of each wine from the tank that it's in, and I let it sit on the counter overnight for 24 hours, which allows it to oxidize for 24 hours. And then I taste them afterwards, and if they taste the same or better, that tells me that whatever the chemical structure of the wine is, it's very stable and it interacts well with oxygen, and maybe it doesn't need any sulfur. If the wine tastes worse, if it started to get mousy or have some VA issues after 24 hours, that tells me that whatever's in the wine is not very stable and it does not react well with oxygen. And so at that point, I will add 15 to 20 parts of sulfur, which will protect the wine and keep that from happening when it's introduced to oxygen.